Oh, hi there. Did you also hear about Netflix's new miniseries with the woman that invented acting?
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand? All I do is worry and slave and defend you, and all I get back is that fucking face on your face! So full of disdain and resentment and always so annoyed. Well, now your sister is dead.
Good morning, everyone. It's currently 2 a.m. Everybody's sleeping, and I am stressed. We're gathered here today to discuss Netflix's new miniseries, Wayward, created by Mae Martin, who also stars in it, and we can start with the IMDb blurb. A bucolic but sinister town explores the insidious intricacies of the troubled teen industry and the eternal struggle of the next generation. Bucolic? The town explores intricacies, troubled teen industry. What in the chat GPT is this blurb? Is IMDb using AI now? Guys, did you hear about that AI character that studios are currently bidding on to have in their movies? It's a fully AI generated actress. I think we need to stop. I think we've reached the point. Now we're replacing actors with AI characters. You know what AI will never be able to do? No, this blurb, absolute prison. After moving to his pregnant wife's hometown with her, a young police officer named Alex grows suspicious of the small town's seemingly idyllic life as a series of bizarre incidents unravel the dark, twisted truth beneath the surface. That's better. Concomitantly, did you hear that? I said concomitantly. And don't ask me what it means. I Googled it. It's a word. It's there. Concomitantly, two troubled teen besties are thrust into a fight for survival following their involuntary commitment to Tall Pines Academy, a mysterious school spearheaded by the captivating yet intimidating Evelyn, the town's raison d'être. Raison d'être? Who am I today? Guys, I'm going to be honest. Wayward was marketed as this mysterious psychological thriller, and when Mae Martin mentioned the tone drew from Twin Peaks, the press ran wild with that story. And as someone who's never watched Twin Peaks, I can neither confirm or deny the authenticity of those claims. But having watched it, I was expecting more. Like, this felt like the diet version of what I imagined Twin Peaks to be, which, again, I haven't seen, so I couldn't really comment. But it's like the vibe, you know, it's like the energy. We're working on vibes today. Wayward is great for like a family afternoon. You know, everyone is on their phones, doom scrolling. No one's really paying attention. And then you turn to the TV and it's Toni Collette serving face. Do I look like her? Wait, she has glasses. Well, yeah. I'm conflicted because the series was meant to be this like super cerebral, twisty thriller journey. And by the end, it's like communism, good, bad. But also the more I think about it, the more I conceptualize it, the concept that they conceptualize is actually quite giving. Like it's quite cool. It's nice and interesting. And it's like, it's a good way to do conversion therapy without doing conversion therapy. It's like curing the gay, but you're not curing the gay. You're curing the person, the human, the humanity. Guys, this is going to get very deep. Get ready. The show follows this small town and academy where presumably kids are like being tortured, but for some reason it never feels threatening. It's like conversion therapy for a young adult audience where like things aren't as intimidating as they should be because you still have to appeal to that younger demographic. So it's like uglies, but better. It was also written by a stand-up comedian. I think Mae Martin does stand-up comedy, so it's like they did their thing. It's cool-ish. I don't know. I was watching it and I was like, I should be scared, but I'm not, and that's obviously not good. Maybe I'm the problem. No, see, that doesn't make any sense. Also, while we do the breakdown of the series, why don't you go ahead and subscribe down below? If you're still watching, you're still there? Go on then, do it. The story happens in Tall Pines, a small town where everyone seems to know one another. Everyone lives in peace and harmony and they get along brilliantly. Now imagine a world where that's the norm. Communism. At the heart of this town is Tall Pines Academy, a school which is just a sort of institution for troubled teens, and they have programs to correct their behavior. And this is where not everything is as it seems. Except that's a lie. I just lied to you. You've just been lied to. How do you feel? Everything is actually exactly as it seems, and the big mystery at the end isn't actually that big of a mystery. It's more like unraveling the origin story of this town, but like pretty much, yeah, they are all brainwashed. The mysteries at the end end up not being that mysterious, but like I still think about it and it still makes me like kind of That's good. You know, it's good. It's not great, but it's good. Does that make sense? Yeah. Toni Collette plays Evelyn, the head teacher at Tall Pines Academy. She dresses like an American zoologist who goes to the Amazon to study gorillas. Don't ask me why. Just look at her. It's giving he was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died. Right. She's also always serving face. Like sometimes she'll just be on screen giving and that's it. And I love that for her. It's truly something that we should get behind as a society, just like villains on screen and all they're doing is yeah. Now, there seems to be a little cult of personality in this town. Evelyn is like the mother of everyone, the mentor to all. In fact, she has everybody in her back pocket, even the police. Like, kids frequently make escape attempts from her school. Most of them are either found deceased or are never found again. And everyone's just like, yeah, that's actually how we get down in Tall Pines. Like, we're different like that. Like, Evelyn is their mother, and everyone in this town is just her little monsters. Rah, rah. What is going on? Well, that's about to change with the arrival of police officer Alex, played by the show's creator, Mae Martin, who moves into town with his pregnant wife, Laura, an old student of Evelyn's at Tall Pines Academy. Alex is, for lack of a better word,
coward.
Like, he's not a good cop. He's not even a decent cop. He's not even a passable cop. He's just bad. He's bad at his job, and he's like very insecure and very unsure of himself. He's constantly like just looking anxious as shit, like he's about to have a panic attack. And I don't know, but ACAB. At this point, Alex is the only new person in town. Therefore, he has no previous knowledge of the town or Evelyn's antics like everyone else seems to. And immediately in episode 1, there's a kid who escapes the school who Alex briefly meets before the kid runs back into the woods after realizing he's still in Tall Pines. That same kid, not knowing who he can trust, shows up to Alex's house later that night and seems genuinely terrified until Laura shows up, the pregnant wife. At which point, the kid, his name is Riley, freaks out and runs at Laura with a knife to kill her, claiming she's mumbling. Alex then stops the attack, accidentally stabbing Riley in the process, whose last words are, "She's one of them." Right. But can we clarify who's them? After this event, Alex becomes more and more suspicious of the townspeople's odd behavior. First, he realizes there are no kids in this town, only students at Tall Pines Academy, who, upon graduation, are assigned to adults, not to be adopted, but like mentored. Also, there's this woman who seems weirdly obsessed with Laura's pregnancy, like she's carrying the Messiah or something. Don't worry, this is not about to turn into a biblical story. Okay, we have enough of Bible shit going on in the world. And everyone just seems like blindly loyal to Evelyn. Like, that is their mother. I said that before, and I'll say it again. Evelyn is mother. Laura, on the other hand, studied at this Tall Pines Academy before she moved away. Now she's moving back with Alex, and she's pregnant. And like everyone else in the town, she has an ominous relationship with Evelyn, and despite the time spent apart, Evelyn seems to maintain some sort of influence over Laura. Don't like that. I don't like that. And Laura, again, is this pioneering young lady because she's going to give birth to this town's first child. And she also hopes that others can follow suit and they can start populating this town with kids. I don't know why that always makes me laugh, but this is actually a very important part of the script, so like pay attention. Keep that in mind. Laura's baby is like très important. Ooh, who am I? Speaking French all over. Why? Hello? On the flip side, we follow a different narrative. Abby and Leela, troubled bestie teenagers who are thrust into this fight for survival when they are involuntarily committed to this academy. Abby, because she breaks into her school with Layla and then comes back home in the middle of the night, high as a kite. And Layla, because she breaks into the academy to rescue Abby, but ends up not getting very far. She just like runs in, hugs Abby and is like, we need to go, and then is swiftly apprehended by the school's guards. Then Evelyn calls her mom and coerces her into remortgaging her house so she can afford Lala's internment in this academy. Okay. Not a fan of that. Abby's a saint. She has 2 assholes for parents who would rather ship her off to torture camp than have her embarrass the name of the family. Can't have that. No. She's also Lila's only friend to a fault. They have this very toxic, codependent relationship where they play off of each other's recklessness and impulsiveness. It's not good. It's not a good look for either of them. But Abby's like the grounded one who thinks twice before doing stupid shit. Lila is chaos incarnate. She has good intentions, but she's also very reckless, and she doesn't really think of anyone else other than herself and Abby. She's destruction personified. The death of her sister wrecked her life. She was a great student with a job, and now she's an addict with a 25-year-old boyfriend, and she's only like 16. That is such 16-year-old behavior to want to have a boyfriend who's 25. But then you look at him, and he's an actual absolute greasy loser. She's a terrible influence. She coerces her best friend to do mushrooms when they break into the school the night before a very important test. So they break into the school to steal the test so they can pass the day after, but then decide to drop some fucking mushrooms and just have a trip in the library and in the classrooms and everywhere else in this school. Then Lila's like, you know what? I'm a bad influence for Abby, so I'm going to dip out in the middle of the night. And then Abby just gets home really high and everyone's like, she didn't even see us when she walked up those stairs. And then they call this school and they come in the middle of the night and they kidnap her and they take her to Tall Pines Academy. Let's talk about kidnapping kids in the middle of the night at the behest of the parents. It reminded me of that story that Paris Hilton said where she was kidnapped in the middle of the night and shipped off to like a correctional behavior camp. But also it reminds me of this other girl that I used to work with, and she said that when she was younger and a troubled teen, she was causing some issues in the household and whatnot. She was sent off to a camp in the middle of the night in the United States from the UK. So like in the middle of the night, a bunch of men just broke into her home, kidnapped her, and then shipped her off to the United States for the entire summer so her behavior could be corrected at a camp. The concept of not only being kidnapped in the middle of the night as a teenager, but knowing that it was your parents who asked them to do that, but also being sent to the fascist states of America for a whole summer. Ugh. Like, I fear I wouldn't thrive. Parents who don't want to parent their kids, stop having kids. Let's start there, okay? Let's stop doing unprotected sex in the bedroom. If you don't want kids, if you don't want to raise them and love them unconditionally and deal with all the troubles that come with having kids, then stop having them. There's way too many kids. Way too many kids. She also causes a riot in the academy at one point, and her roommate, who was happy living in this school because before that she was an addict and now she's finally stopped using and has some sort of purpose, has a relapse, does a bunch of drugs, and ends up in the hospital following an aggressive OD. But like, okay, this is really bad. It's really terrible, really reckless and toxic, but I can't fault her because this school is nuts. Don't piss me off. Let's talk about the program, because the school's main objective seems to be correcting the behavior of troubled teens so they can go back to being contributing members of society. It's a bunch of bullshit just there. In reality, the school's main goal is to purify people's souls through emotional lobotomy. There's a mouthful. Think conversion therapy, but instead of curing the gay, you're just making people numb. It's kind of giving, actually. Listen, anytime lobotomy is part of a movie story or a TV series story, I always imagine them hammering that little metal thing spike through someone's eye socket, and it's gross. It's unnerving. It's disturbing. But don't worry, Tall Pines don't do lobotomies like that. They go the chemical route. There's this recurrent theme of toads and people being attracted to toads, and turns out the psychedelics, the drugs they use to cause this emotional lobotomy in people, comes from toad venom. So like, there's your symbolism. If you watch the series and you saw all these toads running around, you're like, what the fuck is going on with these toads? Well, they got the venom to cure your emotional instability. Powerful beings. Powerful. Okay, let's lock in, because this is like the true core of the show, right? The Tall Pines Academy origin story, if you will. Now, when she was younger, Evelyn ran away from home after her parents took her baby away and gave it to someone else. Wait, that actually happened. Oh, okay. She then meets this Charles Manson looking guy who's a commune leader and talks about revolutionary ideas of transcending pain by detaching from old bonds. He says when his dad was in a coma, he saw a green door and he had to leap through it to survive, metaphorically. And Evelyn's like, what if we made this metaphor and non-metaphorical with like drugs? And he's like, no, this was never meant to be serious, guys. This was just for the jokes and the vibes. Calm down. Like, you're taking this too far, Evelyn. So Evelyn kills him one night and takes over the commune and builds Tall Pines from the ground up to what it is today. And the goal is to achieve an emotionally detached community of people who can live in harmony and peace. Right. So the goal is good, but the methods are reprehensible. All the qualities of a good villain say yes. Thank you. Like, villains are getting so creative. Like, before, it was all about the money, like robbing banks and taking people hostage and demanding an escape plan from the government plus a bunch of money. And it's like, you're so original. It's giving florals for spring. Groundbreaking. It is my firm belief that villains who do it for anything other than money are like a tier above, right? Because like, they have a plan. They have something bigger than themselves that they want to achieve. And that is selflessness, altruism, the love for the community, the love for more. Get what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm cooking and do you taste what I'm saying? Do we need to build a peaceful community of emotionally empty adults who will worship the ground that you walk on and eat up everything that you say? That's true villainy. Like, that's evil. So they take these troubled teens whose parents are like, actually, I don't want to be parents anymore. You can take him. I'd much rather not have kids, okay? Delayed abortion, if you will. And so they just get rid of the kids, which is great for Evelyn because she needs troubled teens that she can reform. Nigel Farage citing, no. Because her program essentially purifies these kids by transcending their pain and severing their bonds to people they already know, particularly parents and other such familial faces and bonds. It's framed as healing, but it's actually emotional attachment as control. That's villainy. That's evil. Yeah. And the program steps are as follows. Burrow, wherein a student is isolated and forced to have their entire day controlled and surveilled. What they eat, what they do, rules they follow. They're cut off from the outside world, isolated and destabilized. As soon as they enter that school, they're like, nope, you are going to be a prisoner, basically. In fact, the induction system, when you enter and you're enrolled, I guess, they do strip searches like they do in prisons, and then they force you to shower in front of the guards. And it's like, these are kids. Like, what in the... That's inappropriate. Then you got Break, wherein a student is confronted and broken down emotionally. And I'd like to talk about this diabolical game they play. It's called Hot Seat, and it's like my worst nightmare, where one person sits in the middle of like a prayer circle so they can get berated, humiliated, like completely emotionally eviscerated.
He hates you. Your own dad hates you, and he wishes you were dead in the ground.
He wishes you were dead. You hear me?
And then at the end, they have to accept the insults and they have to thank you for your feedback and admit that, yes, they are an unlovable piece of shit that doesn't deserve anyone's attention. And then everyone who's just spent the last hour insulting them just hugs them in a communal hug, like Midsummer vibes. It's giving Midsummer. It's like going back home for the holidays and you have these extended family dinners and then everyone keeps asking you questions like, who are you dating? Where are you working? How's life? And you're like, mind your business, but they don't. It's like that, but on steroids. And then worse than that, you have to sit through the humiliation and then say thank you at the end. That's evil. That's evil. They also have therapy sessions where they air their grievances towards specific people and the response has to always start with, thank you for your feedback. Like, Stacy, you stink, you don't shower enough, and my nose is suffering because of your inability to wash your ass. And she has to go, thank you for your feedback. Oh my God, it's basically boot camp for customer service operators, like a normal day in the food service industry. Okay. But most importantly, and perhaps most disturbing and chilling, is the mirror room, where they're forced to confront their past traumas, sometimes coerced into misremembering them. They're tied to this chair in this empty room, and there's like a projector projecting lights, and it just freezes their brains, I guess. And then Evelyn is outside and she's using the power of suggestion of her voice to guide you through your memories and your past traumas, just so she can learn all of your deepest, darkest secrets. Lila goes through this, forced to revisit her sister's death, first as she remembers it, and then with slight changes introduced by Evelyn's guidance. So like Lila's recollection of her sister's death goes from she drowned while I was asleep and then I woke up and she was dead and I tried to save her and I couldn't and now I feel guilty, to I hated my sister so I pushed her into the water and then I watched her slowly die. She went from, oh my God, I can't believe I passed out from the drugs my sister gave me while she drowned, to I killed my sister because she gave me drugs. I'm laughing. That's like true evil. Like, Evelyn convinces Lila that she had something to do with her sister's death, and we're not even sure what happened because she's like, my memories are now all blurred and I don't know which one is the real one and which one is the fake one, in which case we're like, did she kill her sister or did she not? Is she really that guilty of such a crime or is she not? Evelyn, the mind, it's like having that evil mind and then dressing like this. Yes. Well, yes, I'd like a side of Toni Collette on this. And then after Lila's fully convinced that she killed her sister, Evelyn walks in and she's like, now that you've shown me your wound, I can heal it for you. Like, this woman literally breaks kids' minds and then walks in like a white savior to fix their problems. So after the break, there's Build, wherein the student is indoctrinated to believe that this is their new chosen family. Oh, the cult leader stealing queer people's handbook. There is a special place in hell for you. This was actually written by Mae Martin. So no, you're not going to hell, I guess. whatever. So like the academy builds a new narrative for your life, gives students roles to help out in exchange for rewards, and soon enough they will believe the academy has their best interests at heart. They will see Evelyn as the love and support they didn't get from their own parents and friends. Lila is once again the perfect example of this. She was like the ultimate rebellious teen on the run, trademark. She did drugs, drank alcohol, had a nonce boyfriend, and wanted to lead the revolution against Evelyn. She told her to her face, "You will never break me." So then Evelyn breaks her, and now what? After Build, there is Ascend, where the student graduates into the Tall Pines ecosystem, becoming a cog in this machine that ultimately saved them. And to graduate from this program fully, they have to go through the Leap, the lobotomy. Now, the Leap is a very exclusive invite-only event, so you can't just want it, you have to deserve it. And that's how you fight nepotism. Do you hear all you Nepo babies out there? You better hide. Evelyn's coming for you. 1, 2, Evelyn's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. 5, 6, get a crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. Right, so the Leap. They go to this basement with a shallow pool of water and a green door painted on a wall. The school staff, who are all previous students of the academy no less, inject a hallucinogenic. Why am I struggling? Hallucinogenic, that's how you say it, right? Hallucinogenic cocktail that uses local toad's venom. Then Evelyn guides their acid trip through suggestion and hypnosis, like she did in the mirror room, all using motifs of a mother and a door inside someone's mouth and breaking through. And it gets weird when they actually give us visuals of a mouth opening and a door inside, and then Toni Collette is fisting Toni Collette too in the mouth. What are we doing here? It's getting weird. It's getting conceptual and weird. I kind of like it. So after this Leap, people are basically irrevocably changed. Irrevocably. What am I on today? They're irrevocably changed. They hold no emotional attachment to anything that came before. Their minds are basically given a clean slate, a good old reset, and their emotional ability to feel things is brought down to a minimum. Like mute. Evelyn just mutes that shit. Like no one else is going to feel pain and no one else is going to remember their pain. No one else is going to feel attached to anyone. Everyone is going to be a walking robot who loves me. Of course, I'm the diva. And now that they're pure and easy to control, they get released into the Tall Pines Academy as abiding members of this cult-like commune. And it's real interesting to see this program working on Lila, but not on Abby, even though Lila like presents herself as more fearless and strong-minded, like a barking chihuahua. Right? Now that you know all that, let's go back to Alex and Laura. Alex starts uncovering the mysteries of Tall Pines Academy. He even tries to help Abby and Lila escape from the school. He eventually finds out that Laura's parents tried way back when to get her out of the school, and they died before they could get there. So Alex theorizes that the school actually killed Laura's parents to stop them from getting their daughter back. Later, however, Evelyn reveals that Laura actually killed her own parents so she could stay in the school. She was that committed to the program, and we can see how committed some people can get, like with Stacy. Stacy is this other student that acts like, let's be honest, the Gestapo. Okay, if anything, she is ICE right now, and everyone is illegal in this school. The only difference is she can't kick them out of the school, but she can torture them and make sure that they get punished for nothing. Punished. Okay. It's like teacher's pet on steroids, like licking a fascist's bumhole so he'll spare you. Yeah, but at one point, to support Alex, Laura completely severs her relationship with Evelyn. She cuts her off, ices her out completely, and then starts inviting other members of this community to her home for dinner and drinks. Laura tells Alex that they will absolutely leave Tall Pines before the baby is here, especially because Alex is now convinced that the town is evil. Proof of that is when they kill this guy Max had spoken to about his missing daughter, an ex-student of Tall Pines Academy. And then he goes on about this conspiracy theory that like not everything's as it seems. And then Alex finds out that the guy was actually killed and hung like someone who offed themselves, even though he didn't. So like Alex is now, whoa, why would they do something like this to someone I was getting information from and then not come after me? And then his police officer colleague implies that, you know, it was a tragic event where someone took their own life and there's no need to investigate any further. Right, Alex? Right, Alex? There's nothing else that we should be looking into this, right? And you're going to drop it, right? Right? And he's like, oh, so they did this to scare me. And I am scared. Like I am fearful. We need to go, Laura. Despite her promises, though, Laura has no intention of leaving Tall Pines. In fact, She came back because she wants to take over this town. She's now reckoning with the drug-induced emotional lobotomy she went through and how abusive that is, and wants that to change. She doesn't want to change the nature of Tall Pine. She wants to maintain this community environment and vibes where everyone's like super cool and chill with each other. She just doesn't want to chemically lobotomize kids anymore because that's kind of abusive. But everything else she's okay with, right? You get what I'm saying here? This, of course, is kind of futile. Like, someone will always decide that their personal interest is higher than the interest of the community. If anything, Evelyn found the only way to fix that, lobotomize people so they're compliant, which is obviously very wrong, and I don't endorse that. But from a logical standpoint, Evelyn's methods are probably the only methods that would make this commune work full-time, long-term, successful kind of deal. Because if you don't have lobotomized people walking around with no emotions like... then what do you have? You have greedy people, selfish people, calculated people who will someday, somehow find a way to overthrow whoever's in power just so they can hoard power for themselves, because human nature is corrupted. Spilled. I mentioned earlier that there are no kids in Tall Pines, and that is for a very specific reason. See, everyone who lives in Tall Pines, apart from Alex, are all graduating members of Tall Pines Academy. They're all like, they've all gone through the leap. They're all fully lobotomized and ready to worship their mother, Evelyn. Almost said Laura. Well, she's going to be the new mother. And the deal with the leap is that it doesn't just sever your ties to the past. It doesn't just purify your soul from all your traumas from the past. It also kind of makes you emotionally dead. So anyone that does the leap has no desire whatsoever to form a parent-child connection. They're like, I don't want kids because I don't feel anything for my own parents. I have zero emotions. I'm dead. You know what? I feel the same, and I wasn't even chemically lobotomized, so I'm winning. Make a community full of traumatized gays. Yes. No, that's actually a terrible idea. Don't do that. No, never. So like, even when the kids that graduate from Tall Pines are assigned to families, they're not really necessarily adopted kids. They're more like mentees, to be mentored by these families so they can integrate seamlessly into the society and continue this trend of community. It's Communism 101, don't at me. And this is why Laura's pregnancy becomes this like event of the decade, because it isn't normal. It's the first. And as the first person to come out as gay in my hometown, I gotta say, the firsts are important, but they're also really traumatizing. So Laura gathers people in her basement, Evelyn style, but instead of having them humiliate each other, she has them say what they lost through Evelyn's program, convincing them that there is more humane ways to foster this community that doesn't involve toad venom. And it kind of works. Like, everyone's talking about how they wanted kids and how they can't, and how they had all these emotions and how they feel nothing, and how they've kind of been lost, like aimlessly searching for some kind of purpose, and they have none because, Evelyn robbed them of that. So she starts to change the tides. So she enacts change. She is the change she wants to see. She becomes the change she wants to see. And if you want change, check out today's sponsor. No one. I got no sponsor. It's a joke. You got lied to again, huh? Surfshark VPN. Drop me an email. Let's collab. They probably work with bigger people. Subscribe so I can get a bigger account and get an email by Surfshark, okay? Let's do it together. Let's be a community. Oh, Laura, I'm coming for your gig. Alex eventually realizes that Laura has no intentions of leaving Tall Pines and all the other freaky people. He's then kidnapped and nearly forced to go through the leap despite not being mentally prepared or willing to do so, narrowly escapes, then his partner tries to kill him, so he kills his partner instead and rushes home just in time to see his wife give birth. She's doing a natural birth in water in the middle of her living room, and everyone is gathered around her like this is a prayer circle. It's stressing me out, and I'm not even in the room. But like, it gets really weird, and I just need someone to walk into that room and make them stop it. Stop it and that and everything else in between. This is out of pocket, but like, Laura gives birth, right? And it's a healthy boy or girl. I don't care. It doesn't matter. She says we need to do skin to skin, which is when I guess you put the baby against your own torso to like warm them up, but also, I don't know, create this bond with the child, which is all good. It's all fair. It's what happens. So Alex does that. He hugs the baby, and then everyone around starts undressing. Hello. And then one of the members picks up the baby and hugs it and is like, it's what she wanted. And then they start passing this baby around like it's a joint in a crack house. And Alex turns to Laura and she says, verbatim, it's everyone's. It's the only way to break the pattern. Calling the baby it is a choice. But I also want to highlight how dead behind her eyes she is, like emotionless because of the leap lobotomy. Like the whole time, Alex thought that Laura wanted to start a family because of the human desire to procreate. But no, she just wanted to take over this commune and employ her own more morally sound methods, like having a baby and passing it around. A communal baby? Oh my God. Guys, all of these grown-ups just getting naked and hugging this baby, passing it around, and then just rubbing all of their body oils and sweat and germs on this literal newborn. Like, no class, uncouth, just pure, unabashed. Don't piss me off. It's bad enough to bring a kid into this fucked up world, but then the first thing they do to the baby is... you know what? Anyway... that night, faced with the option to either escape with a baby and go on the run with Abby, who Alex has been helping and has promised to leave a car for, or stay and raise a child that basically belongs to everyone, Alex decides to stay. Okay. Going on the run to give your child a normal life, or allowing the child to become the communal baby of the town. Literally communal baby. Like, how is this going to work? Are they going to be like passing around the baby like a bong and just, one night you sleep there, one night you sleep there, one night you sleep there? So to recap, Evelyn built Tall Pines. Laura wants to take over and evolve it, and Alex decides to stay. So like, Evelyn is the Republicans, capitalism with violence and censorship. And then Laura wants capitalism with virtue signaling and cute slogans of empathy. So Laura is the Democrats. And then Alex is the liberal because he sides with whoever's in power as long as it benefits him. I know the show is about communism, but like, obviously this is not communism in real life. And I see you wanting to go down to the comment section and argue with me about communism, whether it's good or bad. But here's the thing. That's not what we're discussing here today. I'm not here to discuss whether communism is bad or not. I don't want to discuss whether communism is bad or not. I want to argue that this show is basically a parallel of the political system in America, where you seemingly have two very opposing political parties that are opposing each other, but then at the end of the day, they're all serving the same big donors. And then the population, most of them are liberals because they're like, it looks bad, but I'm okay, so let me say yes. I find it funny, okay? But also, it's a story about conversion therapy that doesn't follow the typical story beats that we've grown accustomed to in these types of conversion therapy storylines, right? It goes beyond. It goes like to the core of the thing, which is like, if you have emotions, you're bound to be bad. You're bound to be corrupted. And if you sterilize yourself emotionally, then welcome to the community. Now, you may be expecting an update on the diva herself, Evelyn, and I'm here to give it to you because after Alex escaped the forced sleep, before he escaped the building and after he escaped the chair, he injects way too many doses of that drug into Evelyn, and she has the ultimate trip of her life, and she like dies at the same time as Laura has her baby, and it's like heavily implied that Evelyn's soul then transferred to the baby. See, May, you had me until now. But what in the... I'm so stressed. I can't think. Like, she like starts levitating out of her body, but like her body is in the water. She's like this astral plane ghost, and then she's like fisting herself, like her doppelganger. It's weird. Like, cut it. I don't like it. As for Lila and Abby, Lila decides to stay in the school because she has way too much pain and she just wants to let go of it, even if that means she will be irrevocably changed and have no emotions going forward. Whereas Abby decides to escape with the help of Rory. Rory is like the anarchist that will do everything for her. Rory, you deserve better, and I hope she comes back for you. And then Abby escapes in Alex's car, and that is the end of the end. That is like it. That is it. We're done. The end. There you have it, folks. Wayward, onwards and upwards to communism through forced rehabilitation. The concepts are there. I just wish they could have taken it a little bit further. Like, add a bit more lore and explore some of the characters a little bit more, but also make it scarier, because it wasn't that scary. I wasn't scared. Were you scared? Girl, you weren't scared with this, were you? Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Sorry to hear that. Other than that, continue standing Tony Collette. Also, I'm waiting for one of you to bring me my award for that absolutely astonishing performance at the beginning of this video. And if you're still there, go ahead and like this video down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, follow me on all my socials. They're all linked down below. And also leave me a good fat comment saying how cute I am. Yeah. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye, guys. Oh. But that's not good.